Welcome to a pivotal moment in the world of broadcast as we proudly present the Men's Mental Health Show featuring the renowned Larry Mabry in collaboration with the Maassen Group. This essential exploration of men's mental health wouldn't be possible without the invaluable support of Rainier Avenue Radio World. Now, let's dive into this crucial conversation with Larry Mabry and the Maassen Group. Your mental well-being matters. Here's Larry Mabry.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing on this beautiful Monday, December 2nd? Got a special treat for you guys today. We have our friend here, our peer, Arnold Chacon, who'll be here today. We're going to kind of talk about a few things today, and just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about mental health awareness real quick. So, Arnold, you want to introduce yourself? Okay. All right. So basically, Arnold, tell me a little bit about what does mental health mean to you from your perspective?
So mental health. Have you guys ever realized that you're out of shape, physically, and you try to do some exercise?
Yes. Like when you're working out and you realize that maybe you're not quite as flexible or as in tune or in shape like you were before. Yes, definitely been in that situation.
Okay, when you don't reach your shoes.
Yes, I've been in that situation too. You've been down, you can't quite see. Yes, definitely been in that situation.
Okay, the same, but it's your head that is not allowing you.
Okay.
It's that it's not letting you. It's that keeping you in a fear state. Well, that's not mental health.
Got it.
It's kind of the opposite. So the same way that you don't reach your shoes because you're out of shape, when you're not able to kind of, enjoy what you do or reach your goals, or being calm when you're just, chilling, that's mental health. I get lost, but
yeah, no, I think you're on the right track.
Point.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. And so can you kind of tell some of our viewers, kind of where was your state prior to kind of working on some mental health compared to kind of where you are now?
Yeah. So I think what I said gives a hint of where I was.
Mm-hmm.
It's this ready to fight mood, always in a sense of danger.
Okay.
Feeling that you're like, okay, what's now?
Right.
And one thing is being prepared for dealing with stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but the other one, or that's the point, or the how I was, is that I was not able to enjoy the stuff that I had.
Okay.
Either little or lot. I was not able to enjoy what I was doing. I was not able to enjoy my relationship with my wife, with friends, with family.
Got it.
And I was letting. Okay, I'm going deep.
That's okay. It's okay.
I was letting people, or leaving myself last, probably.
Okay.
And that was hurting my relationships and my capacity of being there for the people that I like.
Okay.
I think that's where I was.
Okay, I get that. So I think we call that people pleasing, right? Like maybe kind of looking out for the people around you and realizing that, wait a minute, are my needs being taken care of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we can all agree with that. And so what are some things that you've kind of done to kind of change that narrative?
Say again.
What are some things you've done to kind of change that people pleasing narrative?
Well, the first one was to understand that people not doing what people want doesn't mean that I don't like them. That doesn't mean that I don't want to help them.
Yeah.
Because and this is something that I learned the hard way. A lot of people, including me, probably still now, we're not sure of what we want, and sometimes what we are vocalizing is not exactly what we're feeling. It's just this state of fear, this state of so if you don't take time to learn what you want, what you are, what you what your goals are, you are not ready to speak about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are exactly there. They don't know. So they just, first thing that cross their minds is out and about, and you're trying to help them do that. And in the end, you're probably actually making them more harm than are good. So, yeah, learning that not giving them everything that people ask is the right thing to do.
Got it. Okay.
And that's hard for someone that is probably like me, people pleaser, as you say. I would like to be able to give everything to everyone, but it's not healthy for them. Yes. It's not healthy for me, especially.
Yeah, at the expense of yourself is when it's not healthy. So, and I like what you said there, and I think, and I appreciate you coming on the show, because I feel like even myself, right? I feel like in our world, as men, you know, we give to our wives, we give to our families, we give to our sisters, our mothers, and sometimes the boundaries get a little skewed, right? And so at the end of the day, like, who's really taking care of us, right? And so we have to kind of make sure we set that boundary to make sure we take care of ourselves. And I like what you said also too. Sometimes we have to communicate those things to other people, right? So that they know, hey, I got to take care of myself, fill my cup up first, so I can help fill your cup up, right? Yeah. That makes sense.
Like in the airplane.
Yes.
First put your own mask and then help the other ones.
Yes. That's a good perspective. So, okay, cool. I appreciate you sharing that. And so what are some things that, well, tell us a little bit about like what you like about yourself.
What I like about myself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like anything. No. I like that I like challenges.
I
like challenges.
Okay. So give me like the last challenge you kind of went through that helped you grow or you learned something about yourself. Would it be something at work? Would it be relationship? Would it be personal things you overcame?
Yeah, a little of all of that. Okay. I think being able to say no. That was a huge challenge that I'm still working on, honestly.
Yes.
Because hopefully I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
Well, we don't need to say names. We could just express the situation.
Okay. There's someone that needs to work a lot on themselves.
Okay.
And I've been asking them to do it.
Okay.
And they haven't.
Okay.
Just recently they show some signs of willing to do that.
Okay.
And I feel very good because that someone is very close to me.
Okay.
But
when you say working on themselves, are there some challenges between you working with that person?
Yeah. Okay. They it doesn't matter. It's my mom and we have talked about a little bit about it.
Okay.
And just recently she agreed to find and you know, start working.
Yeah,
it's a constant maintenance.
Yeah,
it's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
And they neglect herself for a long time.
Okay.
She probably did something that give to me too. Like she was a people pleaser.
Got it.
And she didn't put herself first.
Yeah.
Just recently she realized that she needs
to
help.
Change that.
And needing help is not that you're weak. It's
right.
Not that you're. It's that you have. It's actually kind of difficult, and you have to have some kind of strength to be able to accept that that everyone needs help. Everyone needs, you know.
I would say courage.
Yeah. It
takes a lot of courage
to come out and say, you know what, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Can we you know,
address this issue?
Yeah. Can we cry?
Yeah. That's a big one too, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like sometimes as men that could be a challenge depending on where you're raised or some of the females that we have relationships with. They may look at that as weak, right? Where I mean, we're expressing ourselves, and it should just be accepted, right, with no judgment. And I think that can be a challenge too, right? To feel like you're being judged. So we tend to kind of pull back and not really want to, right, divulge ourselves because we feel like, man, can I just be free with no judgment? right? Which is tough. But I like what you said as far as like making sure that we communicate those things that we need, from the other people in our life. One caveat I want to share too that I think is important is sometimes you come across a person who they're not like at a place where they're willing to change. And for you and some other listeners out there, I have a suggestion in that situation. And so what I found, because I've been in those situations where you hit a brick wall, is go within yourself and realize some areas where you can change, and really impart boundaries. I think it's really important. Because what I notice is typically, we're energy type vibe people, right? We say the vibe is energy. And so what I notice is when you change your vibe, like your energy, then that other individual like feels it. And it's not necessarily something you say, it's energy, right? It's just like if you walk in, the music is booming, you're like, oh yeah, it's time to, dance or whatever, right? You feel the vibe and you're like, okay, yeah, this is that type of vibe. It's the same thing in those relationships. And so what I found is if I go within myself and I make the changes and come at them differently, then all of a sudden they have no choice but to do something different, because the energy that I had before was allowing certain things, and now this current energy doesn't, it won't match, right? And so hopefully it can foster those conversations, right?
Yeah, and I think this is what happened to me.
Okay.
Because as a people pleaser, I was never going to tell them, hey, I think this is not okay. I think you should do this.
Yes.
That was something I never crossed my mind to tell them in this, or her in this case.
Right.
But this applies to several relationships in my life.
Yeah.
And once you are in a better place, you start seeing that there are other people around you that need help, and you're not able to tell them, hey, you need help, because you're down there with them, and and just start climbing the wall, and you look down, not look down, that's bad, but look back and where you were, and you see how much you can improve, how better you can feel, and you want that for people around you, and you can at least give them testimony about how good it is to start working on you and your partner. My relationship with my wife has improved a lot too, because people have strong personalities, and when those two clash, it's big.
It can be a little tough.
But
so what are some things that you feel have worked really well as far as working with the personalities?
That is okay. I'm gonna twist the question.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
Something that you once tell me is you have to take you have to understand that what people is saying is not about what you're doing, it's where they are.
Yes.
And I understood that we both were in a fear state of mind. We were always in fear.
Yeah.
So each reaction and how we escalated the situation and how everything was getting bigger and bigger, and we wanted to win, and it wasn't that we were hating each other. It was just that it was fear, like a dog in a corner. He's just ready to kill or bite, and that's not the way that we should treat each other. And I'm not going to say that we agree on everything.
Of course, that's normal.
True.
It's normal.
But like being able to communicate, hey, I didn't like this, but not like you. No, like more like hey, I didn't like this happened, and I think we can find middle ground and come to a good conclusion that improves our relationship, instead of just pointing, hey, you did this,
right?
But that's the thing, when you're in fear, or I'm sorry if I'm monopolizing the microphone, but it's pretty cool, like seeing how before it was just pointing each other's and kind of making like ready to fight again, but blaming the other person for stuff that actually we both were doing.
Got it.
And it's really nice to now first respect myself more.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm not ready to talk right now.
Yeah.
I think I need a good hour to
process
stuff because I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And they respect that. And now we come and we're like, okay, we have this huge problem, and this is something that she told me just now. I'm throwing you under the bus, love, honey.
Okay.
I feel very strong with you now because we're still dealing with stuff.
Right.
Where
okay.
you thought,
so
right?
what,
I cannot
what
say
no, you're
words.
good. So what I'm hearing you say, Arnold, is basically, you were in a place where it was more fight or flight or fear, right? And so now that you've kind of taken a step back, you're holding yourself accountable, you're taking the breaks that you need to take, you're communicating what you need. And I'm also hearing that you're having more of a loving conversation as opposed to pointing fingers, right? Which that right there changes the energy, right? Where you can just meet on a friendship level and hopefully get somewhere, right? But I also like the fact that, you and the other individual both got to a point where you took the time to kind of stop, right? And say, okay, this is what we both need in order for us to move forward. And then kind of coming back and to say, okay, how do we move forward with this? And I feel as though you have what I would call a healthier relationship, right? Because, whenever you have two personalities, there's going to be conflict, but you don't want to get to a point where there's disrespect, right? There's, you're not seeing where each person's coming from. You're not acknowledging that individual. They're not acknowledging you, because that doesn't really add to the relationship. It kind of tears it up. So what I'm hearing is that you've learned some skills and some things to kind of deal with your emotions, communicate that to the other individual, allow them to deal with their emotions and kind of come back together so you guys can move forward and hopefully a loving, solution-based type of situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so what?
Okay, so
my wife.
Yeah, you can talk about
my
it.
wife said,
go ahead. Shout out to the wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honey. No. Sorry. So we had big issues.
Okay.
But now she comes to me and we have conversations, healthier conversations.
Got it. Healthier. I like that.
And at the end of the conversation, we might not be like super happy because problems are still problems.
Of course. Yeah, it's realistic.
But it feels kind of warm that, now we're a team.
Got it. I like, and I like what you said, team. Like that team aspect is so important, right? To make sure you guys are a team. And that's so vital within having a relationship. And so when you're coming from a place of love, right, you can develop that team type camaraderie, which is so cool, right? And so how do you look at it from a loving standpoint as opposed to a fear standpoint? Like what do you have to constantly do with yourself to look at it from that lens? Because I know when emotions get high, it's like right. But is it taking a step back and maybe processing it? Does that help to kind of get back to the love?
Okay. Being calm? No. Wait,
okay.
Like right now,
yes,
being calm right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can say no. Yeah, you just have to breathe deep.
Yes, when you're calm.
But when you're hot, you're hot. And,
emotions are firing quickly. You got solutions. You need something.
But something that I think. So when we get mad, at least sometimes we're not super mad. We're able to say, "Hey, I'm not ready to talk." That's the first one. That's
so communicate your needs. Hey, I'm not ready right now. And so then at that point, do you both just kind of take a step back and just say, "Okay, let's pause." Is there a timer set? Like, how do you guys know when to kind of come back? So when you guys take a space and step back.
We don't put a timer.
Okay.
What we do is hopefully one of us is calmer than the other one.
Got it.
And
Okay.
let's say it's me asking for time.
Okay.
What she tells me is, okay, but you have to come back to me when you're ready.
Okay.
You cannot just leave.
So you had an accountability piece, like,
Yeah.
okay, let's come back and deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. So I'm hearing give each other space. I'm hearing calm, right? Or if you're not calm, to back off, right? And then that accountability piece of, okay, we need to come back and close this loop, right? We got to close it. And then when you're in that space where you're closing the loop, are both parties calm?
Better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, and then do you get to some sort of resolution or some sort of meeting in the middle where you guys can both agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something cool is that when I notice she's upset,
Mm-hmm.
I understand now that it's not personal.
I like that. Don't take it personal.
Anything she said is because she's pissed.
Okay, and it might not have anything to do with you because it's been that day,
that's why
that time of the year, that situation.
It's where they are. It's
in
coming
that
from where
space.
they are. It's not what they
space.
think. It's
Exactly.
nothing against you.
Exactly.
So I think we both learned that.
Yeah.
So when we are arguing, or when we have something that upsets one of us,
Yeah.
One of us just call like a time off, and he's like, and we're like, okay, let's regroup later because this is not going and it's destroying more than
Yeah.
So we take our time, we regroup, and something that I've learned, and I think she does too, is to ask, to say, I'm sorry. Hey,
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
I like that.
I'm sorry. I was upset.
Okay.
This was more than what I can handle at the moment.
Got it.
And I took it on you.
Okay.
That wasn't cool. I'm really sorry. And I think again, it's in this case, it's a two parts.
Yeah, of course.
Because on the first one, I'm not taking it personal, but at the same time, the person who was upset is coming back to and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry."
Right.
So
do you feel like they're acknowledging kind of that experience?
Yeah.
Because somebody say, "Hey, I'm sorry." I like that because what that does is that opens up the opportunity to have a conversation, right? It's like if I reach my hand to you, then it's gonna encourage you to reach out, right? But if I go to slap you, then you want to protect yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that, like you said earlier, you take the pause, right? And then you kind of check in, and then basically when an individual's ready, they come with that "I'm sorry," which I like that because it nullifies the experience and it helps keep everybody on the same page. Like, okay, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I made mistakes. I'm acknowledging where I may have fell short. Right. And so now what happens is it opens up the communication, because I feel like if people are pointing fingers, then you're trying to protect yourself from the point. Whereas if people are open up their heart, like, "Hey, I'm sorry, please forgive me," that type of thing, then it opens up the dialogue to have more of a loving type of, open dialogue, which I think is powerful, because typically I know someone comes to me, "Hey, I'm sorry," then it puts me in a space where I'm like, okay, I have a choice, right? Because we always have a choice. We can say, "You know what? Let me acknowledge this person in this moment," because I've been in situations where I've been wrong, and so I can relate to that person, and we come humble, right? And we come loving, and then we open up the space so that the person can meet us there. And then, like you said, it's better because now we're calm, we're loving, we're showing that, okay, there's some challenges I'm working through, and I want to work through this in a calm, loving, respectful way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
And do you find that each time you get better and better and better and better at it?
I wouldn't say better, but I noticed that it gets easier.
Easier. Okay. Okay.
I'm not saying that I am. It's kind of like a non-verbal language.
Yes. Yes. A lot of
after a couple of times, you understand. It's kind of like a soap opera. Not a soap opera. It's like a play.
Yeah.
We understand that we're here and we're trying to destroy all the negative energy.
Yes.
And then we regroup, and it's like, yeah, it happened again.
Right.
But we both understand that,
Right.
that sometimes life is more than what you can handle.
Yes.
And we're fair with each other, and we try to understand that. I mean, things happen.
They do. And I just want to say I really, really appreciate you being on the show. I think you dropped some really like powerful nuggets as far as like kind of how to handle a dispute, you know, with a significant other. I like, again, I'll just kind of reiterate, you basically talked about, you know, taking some time, right, to not finger point, to make sure that one person kind of comes humble and, you know, apologizes, to kind of open it up. At the end, is there like once you guys reach a resolution, is there like a hug? Is there like a, hey, I got you, I'm sorry, like some sort of culmination of like the love at all? Or does it just depend on the situation?
It depends. Sometimes it's just a look.
Like, okay, we're here for now. Okay, that's fair. Fair.
It depends of you know, every situation is different. It's different, but the important part is you know, coming back and showing that you regret reacting that way, because that's not because it's out of your, you know, capacity, and you have a reaction that means that you have to just, that's justified and you have to deal with it. It's not like that. Like it again, it's kind of cool because it's just coming back and hey, you know, I love you, and any kind of gesture. It can be just holding hands, it can be a look, it can be a kiss, it can be a hug, it can be anything, but they're coming back and we are not just them. We are accepting that that's not the right way, and that they're important, or we're important to each other, and we can work now together.
Okay. All right. So we're kind of at our show now, but I just want to say I appreciate you coming out today. So next show, guys, make sure you guys tune in for Better Together and Living Powerfully with our next host, Dr. Tracy Harrell. I want to thank Arnold for being on today, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. So reach out to us, let us know what you guys think, and looking forward to connecting with you guys next week. Without further ado, peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rainier Avenue Radio .world, the station that cares about our community. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to
How
say.
does generational wealth play into my family, my family's history, my children? What am I doing for my children to perhaps build them more wealth? I think it goes both ways, because for many immigrant families who are laboring constantly to live, your children are raised a certain way. Your children adopt certain values, which then will become their life and how they live it. When I see folks that perhaps have copious generational wealth, I see a whole different